Apothecary Diaries, Episode 9, Suicide or Murder? I guess that's the mystery for today. Poison? Sort of. You're poisoning yourself. There are some bars like that. Oh? Sugar or poison? This could be water and still be lethal. It's tough. I don't know how to deal with this kind of thing because I have experiences with addiction and I know like there's nothing anyone ever could have told me that would have made a damn bit of difference. I mean, it goes so deep and it's so insidious sometimes that addicts will use people's well-meaning advice as fuel for their addictions. They'll divert that energy into where they wanted to go already anyway, which is the thing. Not that that's your fault. On the other hand, what are you supposed to do? Just sit there and watch people you care about destroying themselves? I think my early conception of this sort of thing was that it was only people who didn't have much going for them that fell into these traps. But with experience, I know that is not the case. Is it because you got rejected? It would appear that he does. I guess that's just the mask. Who is Jinji really? I think we know what image Master had in his mind. No, that does hurt. That's rough. I guess he really is catching feelings here. It feels a lot less conniving now than it did to me early in the show. How many responsibilities and job functions does this man have? Single-handedly running the kingdom for the Emperor. Okay, who got poisoned this time? This happened in the bar. Oh, he was once highly respected. They did say he changed. He die? Murder or suicide? That's what it seems like at first glance. I think she'll come around. Well, that would make it the perfect crime, which doesn't mean it's a crime. You know, Occam's razor and all that. It does sort of look like that, right? Like he just drank himself to death. Especially at the speed at which he was drinking. That man was guzzling. Watch this end with us all like crying for him. I have zero information. He was not in a group. He was alone. We saw that, yeah. At one point. You like booze? Oh, she did say she likes drinks. The mask's starting to peel away a little bit here. He's losing himself to his emotions, it seems. It's salty. So it was a salty drink that we added sugar to? Okay, that sounds like an issue. Yeah, that sounds like maybe like a hormonal problem or something. That's my doctor's expertise. Also, they said he changed recently. Maybe the physical thing also accounts for his change in behavior. It's scary to think about, but that does play a larger role. You know, if you're just chronically like fatigued, for example, or have blood sugar issues, that will affect your behavior. Physical issue, right? Mooncakes, man, I miss mooncakes. Yes, she just wanted some, what do you call that in English? The side dishes for drinking. Do we even have a word for that? Right, it's still salvageable, right? Yeah, but maybe you can lick it. There'll be residue. There's not like one droplet? Okay, what did we ask for? Stop withholding information from us. Yeah, residue. We actually are licking it. I mean, nothing is safe about anything she does. So maybe they put salt in it. Basically anything can be a poison in the right amount, like I said with water. Died of dehydration? But why? It was masked by the sugar. Oh, so it was dangerous to him. He was getting sick from eating too much of it sometimes, maybe. So he stopped, he switched to sugar. It's like that movie where that guy can't feel pain. More dangerous than it sounds. Here we go, crying for him. For now. I probably will figure it out though. So it was added. It was what we saw. That was salt. Yeah, there was a little bit of bullying happening there too. More deadly pranks. Why? Yeah, this is interesting that she's directly saying this and alluding to it. She doesn't want to be involved. When I was working as a private investigator, a lot of the cases I had were trying to prove insurance fraud. You know, like if people claim physical injuries and collect payment, but then be perfectly fine and living a normal life and doing rigorous physical activity. But that kind of thing really wears on you because you don't have all the information and don't have all the details. It's almost certainly true that there's some foul play here, right? There's some malice. And I don't think like it's perfectly fine just to cheat an insurance company because, you know, whatever, it's just a big evil company by definition and there's evil happening somewhere, so it's fine to cheat the system if I've determined the system is corrupt and evil, etc. That's just a little bit too convenient, too easy. At the same time, that's almost certainly not all of it. You know, like there's probably a lot of people working and doing heavy physical labor for money, even though they are seriously injured, just because they really need the money. And it's not that I think these situations are impossible to judge or that there is no good or bad in the situation. I think that there very likely is in many cases. It's just that like I have no ability to determine that. I don't know the full story. And so not knowing the full story, I don't want to be doing anything that directly feeds into this situation that has some outsized negative impact that makes things worse. Also, not even to say I think that kind of work is bad or that like no one should ever be taken to task for doing wrong things or whatever. It's just that I personally don't want any part in that if I can help it. I would want to have the full story always. It's weird being the collector of ammunition for someone else's gun when you don't know how they're going to use the gun. Also with her, it's not that she like just condones everything. Everyone can be right in their way because when she actually has her hands on it and understands the situation, she does make very clear judgments one way or the other. I don't think that's necessarily cowardly. But to Mao Mao's point, though I'm not fully convinced this is what's going on, I think maybe that becomes cowardly when actually you are pretty convinced that there is a solid judgment and you are the only one or at least someone who is capable of understanding the situation, and yet like for your own skin you don't want to stick your neck out. Like it would just be way easier to not be involved, that kind of thing. He does so much better for himself just being this. Booze? No, don't start with this again. We were so close. We were getting somewhere. I just don't touch me. You know it. Got him. He in fact was not. Bureaucracy. That would mean you. He volleyed that right back. Please work diligently and save me from the minimum age restrictions. Here's an interesting like character question. Does Mama really care about the law? I would imagine she wouldn't. My assumption about her character would be that she would be fine breaking the law, assuming one, she wouldn't get caught, and two, there's nothing immoral about it. And almost certainly if she felt like breaking the law in whatever situation was the moral thing to do. Got some points back. It was a dream? Or is she lost in the sauce? Wait, who was that? Someone fell into the water? Is this the suicide or murder? Oh, someone totally different. Oh no. Get a hold of yourself, man. Okay, I guess we're looking on the bright side. He is. At least he's a nice quack that serves us tea. I can sort of imagine why. That's dark, I'm sorry. We saw that, yeah. Oh, I thought it was going to be from the ladies, like you can't associate with that kind of thing. Curses and all that. This kingdom is like especially curse obsessed. This too is a curse, it's a water curse. Oh.
好奇心旺盛なお前のことだ。一度でも手を出したら墓荒らしくらいするだろう。
That's a big leap, Dad. No, maybe he was right. This is sort of like a Dexter thing. There's nothing we can do about you being a maniac, so we'll have to just draw lines to harness it properly. There's something weird about Dad, right? I'm suspicious that he's even Dad. He's like some dude that maybe was frequenting the Verdigris house or something, or an acquaintance of her mother. Very morbid. I mean, I feel like it was very polite, just skipping over that. I don't think he has it in him. I don't think he'd know what to do anyway. Yeah, there it is. There's some humanity of the situation. She's not just a science experiment. Why were her fingers red? Like someone stepped on them? Climbing in those shoes? Those wooden shoes? Not dressed like that. Oh yeah, she did it! Forgot about Puyo. Nice callback. They left a path. Feet binding. Yeah, this I learned about somewhere. They don't let your feet grow out. Man, that sounds like something that came out of a weird emperor like this one. Like, look how big your feet are. All normal, human-sized. Ew, feet. Guess you can't be my concubine. Hey, can somebody call Jinchi in here for me? I need to see him about something. I'm gonna need every woman with feet to leave the room now. Could have been an accident. Either way, terrible. Huge loss. Tragedy. Is this hitting a personal note? Among other things, but I'm glad you have found meaning in your life. Yeah, where are you going with this, Mamo? Yes. Right, there's the connection between the two. She's getting dark lately. Or is she testing him? I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. Something about the trip home seems to have put like a dark seed in her mind. Something got extra gloomy. Something she was reminded of. I went back and watched that episode and the annex looked like it contained somebody really sick. Maybe her mother. Though I couldn't tell if that was in real time or a flashback. Well, whatever it was, during that trip she's talking about like just the poison in the air and how people are happy to sell each other poisons if there's a desire for a poison because we'll confuse that for sweetness. And now she's talking fatalistically about her own life and what kind of poison she would use to end it and how it's pointless to resist these things. It can happen anytime. I mean, these are just things you can think about, right? And I don't think they're even necessarily terrible reflections. There's a certain element of what she's saying that's just reality, right? But it doesn't feel like just reflection on one's mortality as a way to try to embrace the full rawness of life or something like that. It feels more like she's emotionally compromised and afraid of something or deeply pained by something and it's manifesting in odd ways and odd moments. So there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for why that would be coming up, and it's because like she's dealing with these things directly. She's dealing with attempted murder. She's dealing with potential suicide. In the last episode, I was actually wondering what was it about that situation specifically that got to her so deeply, because we've seen treachery before, we've seen poison before, and my gut instinct was that at least part of it wasn't necessarily the attempted murder, but that question of like how deep does the conspiracy go and how much are people willing to plot and scheme and like knowingly harm others collectively, and also that constant fear, which I fully understand at a really deep level, of how much treachery do I not know. Just almost definitionally, there is some deep treachery in your life that you don't know about and you'll maybe never know about. It just, chances are there's something, there's some factoid about the people around you in your life that if you were to know that would blow open your conception about what those people really are and how they really feel and what they're capable of, etc. And then the scary question is like, well, like to what degree is that true? How much of that is true? Your mind can sort of run wild with it, where it could be everyone all the time in terrible ways. I sort of got that feeling myself from that last episode of like how many people in this house know about this attempt. In there, it's more than a vulnerability about one's existence and life, but a social one as well that can cut pretty deep of like, who can I even trust? Is any of this goodness believable or real? Am I just alone? Maybe Jinchi can understand this. What is this? What is this? This is directly connected, yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot bubbling up. Okay, maybe she's just breaking a little bit. It's every day with this stuff. Mama also plays this game that might come down on her at some point. I mean, this manifests in a lot of ways. It's a sort of duality with her character of, I just want to stay safe in my little box versus there's so much outside of the box. Keep a low profile. Oops, I'm the Emperor's favorite person in the world and maybe future concubine. In this case, it's something like, I'm a realist, I'm a scientist. My devotion is to poison and chemicals and whatever. Whoops, I'm also a deeply caring person. I have a very strong moral compass and I feel things very deeply. Something's got to give. That's what we saw. Okay, that's mom, right? Maybe that was the annex. How do all these things connect to her childhood or that relationship or whatever?
もし私を処刑する場合、毒殺にしていただけませんか?
なんでそうなる?
That's the last thing I would try to use to kill Mao Mao.
処分を下すのは人士様でしょうから。
I'll make a request too while I'm on the record. If any of you are going to try to kill me, please use a gentle breeze. Flick some water on my cheek.
すみません。調子に乗りました。
Speaking of masks coming off.
些細な失敗で簡単に吹き飛ぶ命です。
そんなことはしない。
するしない
You
ではなく、
would.
できるできないです。
Well, we don't know actually. We don't know. There is a potential conflict there, that's true. But we don't know for certain what he would do. Suffice it to say, there's definitely the possibility that he would. And there's certainly the situation that might push him in that direction. And then technically that would be his duty.
風の噂に聞いたのは、死んだ下女が園遊会の毒殺騒ぎの場にいたことだった。
Oh.
それらしい遺書も見つかり、自殺ということで事件は
Oh, that's really suspicious. This connects. She knew too much, maybe. Wait, who was she a servant for? That's really important. What was the servant's role? I guess she's a general servant, not for one of the women. She was a witness.
一体誰だ?
はい。意外と大物でした。ザクロ級、フォンミン。
Who is that? Oh, wait. Okay. She's a servant for her.
祝妃、アード王妃の次女頭です。
Weird. Because she's my main suspect for the poisoning, but no idea if or how that connects to the fire chemical stuff.
下がってよい。
Do you know what this means, Jinshi? Have you put this together? Speaking of having to do difficult things.
アード王妃。
Okay. This show's taken sort of a dark tone recently. It used to be so fun with like lighthearted poison mystery solving. There was something dark about it before, and all of a sudden completely switched it on me. No, but the darkness actually I feel more is coming from Mao Mao. We're seeing a little bit more of like some inner conflict, I think. She has a very sort of blasé exterior, but that's not her. I think maybe that turns out to be a defense mechanism. That's her way of coping. Sort of like the makeup, you know, the freckle makeup. She wants to make herself less organic, if that makes sense. Just blend in, just be small. Don't feel. There's a lot of different ways to manifest. But it also seems like there's something in here about destiny, right? And that's not something you can really hide from. You can't hide from who you are and what you are. If you're an empathetic person and you care and you're talented, that is going to come out. Something's going to break.